Most people are aware that physical activity has multiple benefits. It increases circulation, releases endorphins that makes one feel good, strengthens the body, and is generally good for your overall health. However, the days of physical activity in elementary schools are becoming obsolete as districts eliminate PE to try to save money and allow for more academic time to meet state requirements and standardized tests. While cutting physical education classes might ease the pressure on the budget, it may be hindering students in reaching their full academic potential. Research has shown that regular physical activity can actually help students gain and retain knowledge. Planned daily physical activity should not be cut from schools and needs to be seen as an asset to education and a way of enhancing learning in students. In this presentation, I will identify why physical education has been cut from schools and where schools can begin to re-implement it back into their schools and their classrooms. I will also discuss the positive correlation between students who are physically active, their test scores, and the research done to support this. First, let's take a look at why physical education has been eliminated in schools. First, physical education or PE is not a mandatory class in most states. So couple this with the budget cuts, and many schools have found that due to lack of funding, this is the first program to go. Knopfsinger states, from California to Iowa, from Colorado to Massachusetts, cash-strapped schools are gutting their phys ed programs, letting go of teachers, reducing the minutes of instructions, or in some cases, eliminating physical education altogether. So now that we've seen the main reason why schools are cutting physical education, let's look at a way that they can begin to re-implement it back into their schools and their classroom. If a school once had a physical education program and had cut it, they can maybe by seeing the research and the benefits it has on their students and their learning, re-implement it back into their school. Kelso states that PE programs, while often overlooked and sometimes shunted aside during times of economic difficulty, actually hold an important key to life and school success for students of all ages. We all need for such programs to remain a priority in our public schools. If a district or a school is not able to implement the physical education program due to the budget cuts and is still finding that funding is not available, educators can begin to implement student or physical activity into their classroom through integrating into lessons or in between lessons. Irwin states a variety of resources exist for implementing classroom-based physical activity through the school day, including active and healthy schools, activity break cards, promoting physical activity and health in the classroom activity cards, energizers, and Take 10. These resources provide an excellent starting point for teachers and are flexible enough to be modified to meet the needs of specific classrooms. Now let's take a look at the research done to support how physical activity enhances learning in students. First, it creates an environment in which the brain is willing and able to learn. Rady states, the more neuroscientists discover about this process, the clearer it becomes that exercise provides an unparalleled stimulus, creating an environment in which the brain is ready, willing, and able to learn. It also improves comprehension. Rady describes an innovative approach where some students in Naperville, Illinois, took part in a zero-period hour before class. These students would run before their lessons started for the day. It was actually found through this research that students who participated in the zero-period hour had a 17% increase in reading comprehension, whereas the students who did not partake in this zero-period hour only had a 10.7 increase in reading comprehension. It is also shown that physical activity is linked to higher cognitive function overall. Ratniak states another study in 2005 in the Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that aerobic fitness was linked to higher cognitive function for students in grades 3 through 5. Now let's take a look at this visual behind me. This is the current daily class schedule for a local 4th grade Kentucky school. You can see that the students arrive at 8:30 in the morning and they leave at 3:35, with only one 10-minute stint of opportunity for physical activity during the day. And a lot of the days of this 10-minute physical activity is taken indoors due to inclement weather. Here's a proposed daily schedule with physical activity integrated into the day. You can see in the red that I have integrated it into 3 time slots. The first is from 8:30 to 9 before the students actually start school. This can be done by the teachers getting involved or aides providing organized physical activity time as the students arrive. The next one is after lunch. Students only take typically about 10 to 15 minutes to eat. This would give about a 15-minute window where students could be playing outside with organized physical activity or free play, or inside the gym if the weather is inclement outside. And the last time is 1:45 to 2, a 15-minute opportunity there before reading begins, which has found through research to boost reading comprehension by having physical activity placed before that. Overall, exercise in schools is too beneficial to be overlooked or brushed aside. In this presentation, I have discussed the reasons behind physical education being cut from schools, and I've also given ideas on how it could be re-implemented. I've also discussed the positive effects being physically active can have on students' learning, their test scores, and the research done to support this. It is important educators remember the many benefits routine physical activity can have on students' overall health and learning ability. Happy, healthy students make the best learners. Are there any questions?
How would PE be implemented without disrupting state standard and testing requirements?
As you can see, there's very little disruption throughout the day. There's about a 5-minute interruption in math, which has actually been shown through the research that I discussed that adding physical education actually boosts students' learning. So teachers would need less time going over lessons.
Would additional funding be needed to implement PE for students?
That would depend on the district and the school itself. If they implemented a PE program, a full-on PE program, yes, because they'd have to pay for the teachers and the equipment. However, if they implemented physical activity in between lessons, physical activity itself does not cost a thing, so it would just depend on the school's decision. But overall, the answer is no, they would not have to put that in the budget.